laid my darling dying, I looked down to her and I said, Sherry, you know Daddy? You know Daddy, Sherry? And when she looked, she was suffering so hard that one of them pretty little blue eyes had crossed. It like to tore my heart out of me. I knelt down, I said, Lord, what have I done? Have not I preached the gospel on the street corners? I've done everything that I know to do. Don't hold it against me. I never call them people trash. It was her that called them people trash. I said, I'm sorry it all happened. Forgive me. Don't take my baby. And while I was praying, looked like a sheet or cloth come down. I knowed he had refused me. Now there was the hardest and the most treacherous time of my life. When I raised up and looked at her, and I thought, Satan put in my mind, well, you mean as hard as you've preached and the way that you've lived, and now when it comes to your own baby, he'll turn you down. I said, that's right. If he can't save my baby, then I can't. I stopped. I just didn't know what to do. And then I said this, I said, Lord, you gave her to me and you taken her away. Blessed be the name of the Lord. If you take even me, I'll still love you. And I put my hand over on her and I said, bless you, sweetheart. Daddy wanted to raise you with all my heart. I wanted to raise you and raise you to love the Lord. But the angels are coming for you, sweetheart. Daddy will take your little body down and lay it on the arms of Mama. I'll bury you with her. Someday, Daddy will meet you. You just wait up there with Mama. When her mother was dying, she said, last word she said, Bill, stay on the field. I said, if I'm on the field when he comes, I'll get the kids and meet. If I'm not, I'll be buried by you. And you go over on the right-hand side of the great gate, and when you see all of them come in, stand there and start hollering, Bill, 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 just as loud as you can. I'll meet you there. I kissed her goodbye. I'm on the battlefield today. That's been nearly 20 years ago. I got my date with my wife. I'm going to meet her. I took the little baby when it died and put it on the arms of the mother, and we taken it out to the cemetery. And I stood there to hear Brother Smith, the Methodist preacher that preached the funeral. Ashes to ashes and dust to dust. And I thought, heart to heart. There she went. Not long after that, I took little Billy there one morning. He's just a little bitty feller. That's the reason he sticks with me, and I stick with him. I had to be both Papa and Mama both to him. I'd take his little bottle, and we couldn't afford to have a fire at night to keep his milk warm, and I'd lay it under my back like this and keep it warm by the heat of my body. We've stuck together like buddies, and one of these days when I go off the field, I want to hand him the word and say, go on, Billy, you stay with it. Some people wonder, well, I got him with me all the time. I can't give him up. He's even married, but I still remember she told me stay with him. We stuck together like buddies. Remember walking around town, the bottle under my arm. He'd get to crying. One night he was walking out in the backyard where just when she was fixing to have him, she was smothered, not just a girl, you know, and I'd walk back and forth from the old oak tree in the back of the yard, and he was crying for his mama, and I didn't have his mama to take him to. And I'd pack him. I said, oh, honey, he said, Daddy, where's my mama? Did you put her into that ground? I said, no, honey, she's ours. She's up in heaven. And he said something there like to kill me one afternoon. He was crying. It was long, late in the evening, and I was packing him on my back, packing him on my shoulder, and patting him like this. He said, Daddy, please go get Mama and bring her here. And I said, honey, I can't get Mama. Jesus said, well, tell Jesus to send me my Mama. I want her. I said, well, honey, I mean you go see her sometime. And he stopped and said, Daddy. And I said, yeah. Said, I see Mama up there on that cloud. Like to kill me. I thought, I see Mama up there on that cloud. I just almost fainted. I hugged the little fella up to my bosom like that and just held my head down. Went on in. Days passed. I couldn't forget it. I tried to work, couldn't go back home. It wasn't home no more. I wanted to stay. We didn't have nothing but just that old tore-up furniture, but it was something that she and I had enjoyed together. It was home. And I remember one day I was trying to work in the public service. I went up to fix it. An old secretary was hanging down. It was real early in the morning, and I climbed up this cross. I couldn't get that baby up. I could see my wife going, but that baby going, just a little bitty thing. And I was on there and I was singing, "On the hill far away stood an old rugged cross," and the primaries run down to the transformer and went out into, secondary. And I was hanging up there on it, and I happened to look at the sun coming up behind me, and there my hand stretched out and the sign of that cross on the hillside. I thought, yes, it was my sins that put him there. I said, "Sharon, honey, Daddy wants to see you so bad, honey. I would like to hold you in my arms again, you darling little thing." I got beside myself. It had been weeks. I pulled off my rubber glove. There's 2,300 volts running right beside me. I pulled off my rubber glove. I said, "God, I hate to do this. I'm a coward. But Sherry, Daddy's going to see you and Mommy just in a few minutes." Started pulling off my glove to put my hand on that 2,300. Break. Why didn't you even have no blood left in you? So I started pulling that glove off, and something happened. When I come to, I was sitting on the ground with my hands up like this to my face, crying. It was God's grace, or I wouldn't have been having a healing service here. I'm sure of that. It was Him protecting His gift, not me. I started home. I quit. Put my tools away and went back. I said, "I'm going home." I started around the house, and I picked up the mail in the house, kind of cold, and I went in. We had one little room. I was sleeping on a little cot there, and the frost coming up, and that old stove. I took the mail, and I looked in the mail, and the first thing on there was her little Christmas saving, 80 cents. Miss Sharon Rose Branham. There it was all over again. I'd been game warden. I reached in there and got my gun, pistol, out from the holster. I said, "Lord, I can't go this anymore. I'm dying. I'm so tormented." I pulled the hammer back on the gun, put it up to my head, kneeling there on that cot in that dark room. I said, "Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thine will be done." As I tried, I squeezed that trigger as hard as I could. I said, "On earth as it is in heaven, give us this day our daily bread," and it wouldn't go off. I thought, "Oh God, are you just tearing me to pieces? What have I done? You won't even let me die." And I threw the gun down and went off and shot through the room. I said, "God, why can't I die and get out of it? I just can't go no farther. You've got to do something to me." And I fell over and started crying on my little old dirty bunk there. And I must have went